For poops and giggles, let's go ahead, let's put our carburetor in. Alright folks, welcome back to another episode of Odyssey Life. I'm Bernie, this is the Odyssey Life Workshop, and today I'm having a nervous breakdown that you decided to stop by because it's a Honda Odyssey FL250 giveaway machine video. That's right, the reassembly continues, and in today's video guys, it's going to be a mega episode. So many things I can't even list. Starting with our engine, our drive clutch, we're going to get that stuffed in there, get our caliper put together, so on and so forth, guys. We have to get this giveaway done. We have to get this machine done. We've got projects lined up, and we're itching to build something. So I guess without further delay, guys, let's get ours put together so we can get this FL250 running. All right, guys, let's get to work. All righty, gang. Here we are. We got the GT250 power plant. We've got all the hardware to install our Comet 94C duster clutch. You guys, if you've been following the channel, you know we've been waiting a year for this, specifically for this build, and we're super excited to finally have it, and we're super excited to be now installing the drive clutch on the power plant for the GT250. So what all does that entail? Basically just stick the driven clutch on, flat washer, lock washer, lock it down. I did grab us an impact. It is a 19 millimeter. So let's go ahead. We're going to take this piece of 3M pad and we're going to clean the surface here where the clutch slides on. I think that's very important, and you should probably do that on your machine if you're changing your drive system. All right, guys, let's get to polishing that shaft. I am going to take a little spray of our Windex here and then give our shaft a wipe. Leave it in the comments whether it actually mattered or not. That would be great to know. Am I being too picky? Do I need to wipe the shaft? That would be great to know, guys. So let's put our drive clutch on. Oh yeah, beautiful. Whoa. Now we take our bolt lock washer first. All right, I'm gonna grab a 19 millimeter socket real quick. Right, so I put that in by hand. Let's hit her with the impact. There, that's about it, guys. All right. Now that we got our drive system on, we have our electric start kit on, super excited about that. We can put our engine in, and then after we do that, aluminum fuel tank, put enough jibber jabbering, and I'll see you over at the GT250, hopefully, for engine installation. All right, guys. Hooray! I was told we had to take this cage off. I almost thought we had a visit from Bernie from the future for a second. Super excited that worked out in our favor. Let me get you in here for us to bolt this bad boy down. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put our front two engine mount bolts in. That one side's lined up. Engine bolt. There's a cup. It goes like so. And then go ahead with the nut and lock washer. Alright folks, it's a new day. I've been making a mess. I'm digging up the final parts for the GT250. We got our brake calipers finally done after being stripped and re-primed and painted, because the paint just wanted to flake off, and apparently I didn't use the right paint primer combo.
Nope.
But we redid it. We got it right the second time. We got a lot going on this morning, so let's not waste any time and let's get right back to work on our FL250 rear brake caliper rebuild. Alright guys, let's get to it. Now, there is a bracket that goes right here and attaches right up here to the top of our rear roll bar shelf here. So what we're going to do is, there's two pieces to this bracket setup. There is this threaded banana, as Joe called it. It looks like a banana. It goes right up here on our transmission. It goes on with these threaded nuts facing the brake disc, because you have to sit flush on your bracket. You slide your bracket up here, you put this in here, and then you take your bolt and your flat washer, stick that through. Let's hop over to the table. Let's start putting our brake caliper together. All right, I'll see you over at the table. All right, folks, good morning. Here we are back with our FL250 rear caliper. We have brand new pads from odysseylifebybernie.com. So if you look at the FL250 manual right here, the pad that goes on the bottom side is called pad B. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put pad B in. We've greased the back like it says, and we've greased the back of this like it says. Go ahead, drop your pad in from the top. You have to put it in first, because if you don't, you're not slipping it in on the side. All right, we can go ahead, and there's a new O-ring that comes with the rebuild kit from odysseylifebybernie.com for your rear caliper. There's two little O-rings that go on your pin where it locks into the transmission, and then there's this big O-ring that goes around the groove in pad A. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna install that one just like so. And then it tells us to grease around the O-ring. So we go ahead, take our grease. Remember what I always say, you get a little grease on something, you get a little grease on everything. Then we also put grease right on the bottom side of this too. Now we can go ahead and we can put pad A in. We're just gonna slide it in just like that. We only want to make it flush. When this goes on next, there's a tab right here that sits right there. Go ahead, we put that in so it seats down in that slot, and then we take our actuator and we put that in, and you'll see the little tabs along the bottom that you have to line up. And once you get all those tabs lined up, everything should fall right down into place. So then it's sitting evenly and flush down inside, and our arm is sitting where it's supposed to. Now, to make sure you have it right, before we put the cable in, we want to make sure our cover is going to go on. And in this case, without the gasket, we can see we're going on tight and we're going on the way we're supposed to. So now, this cable installation, we want everything screwed out as far as possible. We want as much slack on the end of this cable as possible, because we're going to aim it right for the slot that the pin goes through. Then we're going to take our pin. The pin has a small hole and a big hole. So when we put this in, we want the small hole facing towards the back of the caliper, and we want the big end towards the front of the caliper. All right, then we take our pin. Don't forget, start with the small side down. Then go ahead, pull your cable back. Now you're good to go. We just want to go ahead and get that started, because we're going to do all the adjustments after we get it put in our steering wheel and everything else. Put our gasket on there, and then go. Folks, it's Bernie from the future again. I've been called back because the Bernie of the present still doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not reading his comments. He was told that the roll cage had to be put on after the gas tank and possibly the engine. What's wrong with this guy? Why must we make these risky trips back from the future to set him straight? Leave comments. Let him know what he's doing wrong. Let's hope before the end of the build he gets it right. All right, Bernie from the future, out. And after a visit from Bernie from the future, we took out all the bolts for our cage except for the one up here and the bar over there. We're able to cantilever the cage that way to get the tank in. There's two mounting locations right here, one here, and there's one here. They get mounted, the top ones get mounted right here, and the bottom ones get slid into this track right here. And then these brand new shiny bolts with washers come up through the bottom and lock our fuel tank into place. And then these up here lock it into the top. We got bushings, rubber bushings for under here and everything else. So, all right, guys, let's get our cage pushed over. We show all of our mistakes here, and if we don't show them, we talk about them, and it makes for good video, guys. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get our tank in. All right, let's lay down. Let's get our back tank bolts in. I love progress. Alrighty, here you go. Our gas tank is in minus those two bolts right there. Got our rear bolts in. We're gonna have to lift the frame one more time to get the rubber grommets under here before we put our washers and then our bolts down through here. All right, folks, let's get those in. Let's put our cap on. We'll call the fuel tank in, so we can re-bolt the cage down for good. So, all right, let's keep moving forward. All right, folks, I don't know about you, but all this
wrenching and pushing and sliding and banging and bolting and unbolting
has gotten me famished. I'm starved. I called our friends from the Orient. We got some Chinese food on the way. They said 10 minutes. You'll see me eat, but I will see you when I'm done eating. All right, guys. All right, fellas, we have everything in, so we can re-bolt down our roll cage and get that done and finalized, because I didn't have anything tight. There's always a chance we might have to redo it, but since we're done, fuel tank's mounted, everything's done, now we can bolt down the cage. So let's go ahead, let's bolt down the cage. All right, guys, for poops and giggles, let's go ahead, let's put our carburetor in. And since next video we're going to be plumbing all this stuff in, cables, electrical, getting closer to that first fire, possibly getting the exhaust slapped on and everything else. We're super excited. So let's go ahead and let's get our beautifully polished Keyhing carburetor slapped on our GT250. I like to use a little bit of WD-40 just to lube everything up so we're not sticking her in there dry. We'll be assembling the air box too as soon as we get one. I believe it goes right here. So yeah guys, all right, super excited. I didn't think we'd have this much progress, but we did. So all right, I'll see you for the outro. All right folks, what'd you think of that? We're super excited about how much progress we had on the GT250. We apologize for taking a couple weeks to get you a video, but guys, we're getting to the point in this build that these things take time. We got to get this machine done. We got builds to move on to. Guys, so many things going on Odyssey Life, and we can't wait till the day we can share them with you. Don't forget, this whole project is sponsored by odysseylifebybernie.com. That's odysseylifebybernie.com. Head on over there, get something for your FL250, 350, or FL400. Keep your machines running. Don't forget the Odyssey Life Facebook page. It's the home of no attitudes and egos, where any question is a good question and a stupid question is the one that's not asked. So, all right, folks, I guess I'll see you next week, unless I'm on my way home and a traversable wormhole opens up and I get sucked back somewhere back in time. But I promise, when the past catches up with the present, I'll see you then. All right, guys, see you next week. Bernie from the future again? Oh my God.